All right, so some highlights from the German Bundesliga for you. We're now at the final part of the show, guys. This is the final part of the show. We'll take a look at some issues on the foreign scene. We just told you that the game at the Etihad, Manchester City, Real Madrid, has ended goalless. Yemi, means we have everything to play for when the return fixture is played at the Santiago Bernabeu. It's a very tricky result, 0-0. You could easily play a score draw at home and you are out.
It's like walking on thin ice.
And nothing is you. The two teams are starting afresh,
or even on eggshells. By the way, it's really difficult. But for Manchester City, you're thinking it does tilt towards them a little, because once they didn't concede that away goal, the job that they have on their hands now, go to Madrid
and try to score
and do not lose. And you know, in every game,
but for Madrid, they will think the job is simple: outscore City.
And
if they score one, you score two.
And of course, they will think they did it against Wolfsburg, so they can't do it again. But the way City played, I watched the first half. I think they can go to Madrid and score. But like you said, both teams will have to start afresh. But for City, the fact that they didn't concede any goal here, and knowing that all they have to do is keep it tight and score, makes the job more difficult for Madrid, because out of 3 outcomes, 2 does favor City. So
advantage City the way it's looking, but it depends on the Madrid that shows up on the night. If it's the Madrid,
today Madrid without Cristiano Ronaldo sitting on the bench, failing to pass a fitness test,
single-handedly turning things around.
Yeah, is capable of anything.
That could be the difference.
Then City
that could be the difference. All right, let's take a look at what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, Atletico Madrid will be hosting Bayern. If there's anything that you just do not know what they will present, what kind of team will show up, it's Atletico Madrid. You can't pick out any individual player. It's just a gang, and they're difficult to play against. Very disciplined side. They're up against Bayern. That's going to be a very tough one to call. Too close to call, Yemi.
They're a team that knows how to handle the ball-playing sides, so to speak. Those sides with flair that like to knock around the ball. They just sit back, lock it up, and
make you walk and walk and
once they get a chance, they score. And the more you try to score, you get into trouble with them. So it's and you look at the way Bayern play and the kind of manager they have. They don't have a plan B. So they'll definitely go to Barcelona.
No, but Bayern these days, they also do a lot of crosses. They will
go out and attack.
It's not just trying to break you down from the middle. They can go wide.
But they don't
have
a plan B if it doesn't work. They are a team that comes out to attack. They're not a physical side. They have 1 or 2 players that are a little different from the Pep Guardiola kind of players. The highlights we just saw, Douglas Costa and Arturo Vidal. Maybe those kind of players, sometimes we just want to do it by themselves. But the way Bayern play, the style that Atletico plays suits them, because they know how to handle teams with flair.
All right, so that's going to be a tough one to call. But Bayern, I mean, it's an interesting scenario for Bayern this season. The coach we know won't be there next season, just like Manchester City. And so it's just giving this final push. How do I end the season? I'm not going to be there next season. But I'm fired up all the same to try to go and deliver, and that's some huge kind of motivation.
For Bayern Munich, it's not a club; it's an institution. They've done it over and over again. When Pep Guardiola left Barcelona, everybody was like, "Where is he going to?
Where can he go?
Where else can he go?" Quietly, they signed him, and yes, with somebody else on the job, and it has always been that way. I think for the institutional situation for Bayern Munich, it's something that gives them that, stability. They know the next step to take. They know who is doing what. And I think Pep Guardiola made the point that if he doesn't win this competition, nobody will take him seriously. Bayern. Nobody will, his place in history will 3 years you can't win it. You've done it with Barcelona.
Especially when you took over from a one who won everything.
Who won everything. So I think he just has his job card. I'm just imagining the scenario, what it would be like. Bayern Munich and Manchester City in the final.
That's football has a way of playing up some of these conspiracy
cruel sometimes.
fixtures, and it can happen.
It can.
I mean,
it's
they
a
can.
possibility.
I mean, the two teams are in the semis.
It's
and so, I mean, anything can happen.
Just imagine what it's like.
And the players are already talking of a fitting way to send Pep Guardiola off.
Everybody wants to win for him.
Let's just win.
And the way the City players also want to win for Manuel Pellegrini. All right, guys, let's wrap up the show by taking a look. Before we do this, let me read a few of your comments on Twitter. Ogege Prince Will at I_am_Prince Mazi says La Liga LMC partnership is a welcome development for Nigeria's league. All right, it says it's a welcome development. Okay, so that's good. Let's see what the positives are from that kind of arrangement. And a lot of people here are commending the league management company and the Nigeria Football Federation, and they believe that that's one sure way of laying some solid foundation for our football if we can go the way the Spaniards went in terms of youth development. All right, let's come to the final part of the show now, and this time we're taking you to Hillsborough in England. I mean, tragedies in football, we have had our fair share in Nigeria, and in England this was a huge incident that turned around the face of football and the way the English manage crowd. It was a turning point for them. But beyond the story of how 96 fans died on that day is the story of judgment after so many years. Liverpool fans wrongly accused of being responsible for the tragedy that happened on the day. But at the end of the day, Yemi, you've been following the story. You can see family members singing, hugging, remembering. Wow, 27 years ago.
The verdict,
the verdict that came out today.
Yeah, it was accidental death. It said before it was that some fans were unlawfully killed, but now it has changed and investigations are going on. This has been going on for a lot of years. Some of us grew up hearing about the disaster, and these guys just didn't give up. They kept on fighting.
They wanted the truth to be out.
Yes, and
there was a lot of falsehoods.
Yes, and it was closure for some families.
Full disclosure.
To now hear this, we heard that the jury were shown tapes. We're shown a lot of things, a lot of investigation went into all of this, and the Crown Prosecution Service says it's considering whether to pursue criminal charges against those who were seen to be negligent. We're talking about the police, the police on the day, the ambulance service as well. That's a whole lot of things in the days to come. But Liverpool fans and others who are involved, even singing after the verdict, saying you will not walk alone. I mean, it's an emotional day for all of these people. You're looking at people that if they were alive today, it's going to be 27 plus what they were when that.
Okay, let's close the show by allowing you to listen to what they were saying at the end of it all. We'll leave the show on that note and see you tomorrow. Bye bye now.